Hi, I'm Yvonne Vaughn with Home Educators Association of Virginia, and we're talking about some questions related to filing a notice of intent when you are required to send a notice of intent or a letter to the division superintendent before August 15th of each year that you're planning to homeschool. And you know that there are four options or four ways that you can comply with the homeschool law. The first is to have a high school diploma or higher. The second one is to be a certified teacher. The third one is to use a correspondence course or some type of distance learning program that you would enroll in. And the fourth one is to provide evidence that you're able to provide an adequate education for your child. The first three options are automatic. Of course, we're not asking permission from the superintendent to homeschool. We are simply notifying him with this form. That's the reason it's called a Notice of Intent to Home Instruct form. You're providing this notice to him that you have complied with the law, and you're showing him the evidence of how you've complied with the law. For option 1, you're giving him a copy of your diploma or higher degree. For option 2, you're sending in your teacher certification papers along with the notice of intent form. For option 3, you are sending in some evidence that you've complied with paying a correspondence program, or you've enrolled in a distance learning program and you're showing him evidence of a letter of recognition or a letter of welcome into that program. But for the fourth option, it's a little different. Under that option, you're showing evidence that you're able to comply with the law and teach your child, but you're not able to comply with the first three. So the superintendent is going to be looking at your letter and determining if you are capable of teaching your child. In this situation, it's the judgment of the superintendent that is going to determine whether or not you can homeschool. And the superintendent is looking for evidence in the letter of how you have written your letter. Do you have good grammar, good punctuation, good syntax, good sentences? Do they flow? Is it a good explanation? So option 4 is the only option that is not automatic once you show the evidence of how you've complied with the law. It's up to the superintendent. So I tell parents, if they're getting ready to take their children out of public school, under option 4, if you cannot comply with option 1, 2, or 3, if you have a GED, for instance, you can certainly use option 4. And under option 4, you would want to take your letter to the division superintendent, get a receipt that his office has received that, and then I would suggest that you wait to hear back from the superintendent, simply because it's not automatic. For option 4. I don't want you to be charged with truancy by taking your child out of school and not having heard back from the division superintendent for this particular option. So that's the only case that it's not automatic. And so we want to be a little more careful, give yourself a few more days before you take your child out of the public system so that a truancy officer does not begin an investigation not knowing where your child is.